on its own, the basic Altair plot is not the most visually appealing plot. It's a lot like the native pandas plot method in that it does the job and it's fine, but it's not really something that you could send on up the chain of command in an office situation. However, that doesn't mean that we can't scrub it up a little, which is what we're going to look at now. So we've made the usual imports of pandas and Altair. We've read the Seattle weather data that we've been using nearly all along, and we're going to make a bar chart, regular bar chart. We're going to have year as the x-axis, and we're going to have mean precipitation as the numerical values. We're going to color it by day, and we're going to have a tooltip as well, because when you're out, you're out. Alright, so we're going the whole hog here, nuts and all. So we type C, then hit Shift Enter to run the cell, and here's our chart. And the first thing you notice about any Altair chart is it's a little on the squished side. So that's the first thing we're going to attend to. And the way we can attend to it is by calling another method on the plot itself, and this method that we're going to call is properties. Properties, just copy and paste the cell first. We're going to, instead of going back to the cell all the time, we're going to create new cells each time. Anyway, properties has three values, three parameters. The first is title, which is going to be average precipitation in Seattle by day by year. It might be by year by day, I'm never quite sure, but I don't think it matters very much. We're going to set the height, and we're going to set the width of the chart. Hit Shift and Enter to see it, and now all of a sudden this has got a little more presence. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at sorting options along the x-axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste our copy and paste that chart cell as we did before. Click outside the cell, hit C, hit V. That's the cell copied, and instead of just x equals year, we're going to say x equals the AltX method, which gives us parameters that we can add. And the parameter we're going to add is sort. We're going to sort on Y. So what that means is arrange these axes according to their Y values, and the default sort is ascending. So they're sorted in ascending size there. Change it to negative Y, then it'll be descending values, and that's better. Now we're just, weather by day by year has no real meaning. We're just using it here because it's good for showing how the chart changes when you change the sort options. We can also sort by category. Now the most obvious category here is day, so we're going to switch this. We're going to have days as the x values, and the stack part, the color part, we're going to set to year. And just get rid of the sort option for now. And here we are with days, and what you'll notice is that the days are in alphabetical order. It's Friday, Monday, and that's no good to us, right? We want the regular order, so we're going to have to tell the chart what that is, and you can do that by setting sort to an array. We can get the array by calling unique on df day and just copying the array. We just have to move Sunday to the front of the list. You never want to type out these things if you can help it. Your craft is devoted to copying and pasting. Everyone in the office will laugh at you if you type out too much stuff. You don't want that. And you want some bit of pride. Okay. So we've set that sort to our sorted list. Hit Shift and return, and here we are. with the days sorted from Monday to Sunday as they should be. It is remarkable, isn't it, that it seems to rain more on Saturdays. Who knew? The next thing we're going to do is look at the tooltip. You notice that the tooltip gives a ridiculous amount of decimal places for the average, and we want to trim that up a little because it's just frightening to see that amount. You know, at its point, it's stupid to see that amount of decimal places, but it can easily be fixed. And where we had Alt X and Alt Y methods, we also have an Alt tooltip method. So the tooltip takes our tooltip parameter, and then it can take a format parameter as well. Here we're going to set it to .1f for one decimal place. And I got lost in my parentheses, as can happen. Some days, you know, they just won't go where they're meant to. But these are the things we have to put up with. Anyway, I got it right in the end. And here we see a much more reasonable summary value. Just put it out to 2 actually, because it's just a little too small now. Anyway, that looks better. There's a full list of formats in the Vega Lite documentation, which I'll have a link to here. Vega Lite itself uses the D3 JavaScript formatting, which we see here. D3 is the king, queen, ace and jack of all interactive visualizations on the web. It's the best. There's no question about it. Now the learning curve is more of a cliff than than a hill, but you know it's still the best, and nobody argues with that. Okay, the next thing that we have to do here is we want to adjust the labels and the title sizes because they're just a little bit small now relative to the data. So hit C, hit V to copy these, to copy this cell, and now we're going to go to our Alt X and Alt Y values, and we're going to add a new parameter. The new parameter is axis. Axis takes an Alt axis parameter itself, and there are a number of parameters then that Alt axis can take, and in this case we're just going to give it 2, 3 maybe. But the first two are the first two that we're going to give it are just as soon as I keep track of my brackets again, or parentheses. Okay, I think that's right. Now, we're going to give the axis a title. The X title we're going to call Days of the Week, just to make it different. So we've obviously changed it. And we're going to change the label font size, which are the tick marks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to make them a little bigger. And we're going to do the same on the y-axis. We're going to call it average instead of mean, again just to show that we change it. I will make the label size bigger as well. And the third one that I was talking about that I've now decided is the title font size, which we're going to make a little jump bigger again than the label size, because otherwise it looks silly. We don't want to look silly. Okay, so we see now that compared to the earlier one, the labels are a little more appropriate. The label sizes are a little more appropriate to the size of the chart compared to what they had been earlier. Now we just have 2 things now left to fix before we call it a day. And what we're going to do is we now need to make the title bigger, right? Because you can't have a title smaller than your axis labels. It'd be ridiculous. So we do that by calling configure header on the chart. Again, the nature of Altair is that you can chain and chain and chain all these things like JavaScript. So we're going to set title font size to make it a little bit bigger. And then finally, we're going to change the color to an ordinal category. It's recognized a numerical category, which is why you got that color bar on the side. Now we're going to have something more similar to a we're going to have a proper legend, which is more suited to the data. So that's, I think, enough for today. Next time out, we're going to look at subplots and faceting, which will be fun times. Please click like, subscribe, and notify to keep the videos coming. Live long and prosper.